Hey Jay.
Hey George, how's it going?
Good, good. Yeah, thanks for reaching out to Ryan about the
Yeah,
health insurance. That's great news.
excellent news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could
I
use
didn't
more of
I
that.
didn't realize we had a couple of I guess some turnover, staff turnover that's reduced the I guess number of covered employees and family members, but
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
helpful.
it's got to be at the school, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't realize it either.
I mean, I guess it could be that, it's not a reduction in employees, but maybe family members, but I don't know. Like those who are getting family coverage versus.
Right. Well, sometimes a person leaves and they were family, and a person,
Yeah,
they hire somebody young and new who's not married, and
yeah, exactly.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
But we'll take it.
yeah,
Anything we can
I
do to
know.
get this thing closer. I know you want to get to 500. I hope we can get to 400.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, so one thing we have to do tonight is incorporate those or figure out how we're going to incorporate those library expenses because those are not in aside from the water testing, is it? Yeah, we haven't put the other expenses.
Right,
So
HVAC, the
yeah,
cleanings, the rug
so
cleanings, windows cleanings.
yeah, I think we'll do that tonight, but I think before we do that, let's see, where's my I
We'll
did
also have to,
I did update the budget, just that health insurance number and that got us to that gets us to revenue 451.
right, but I'll bet you that assumes that we're still going to use 50,000 for health
Yes.
insurance.
Yeah, actually, what that assumes is, and wait, what did I do here? Let's see. I had a recommendation I was going to make. Yeah, no, that still has the 50K in. Hi, Susie.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
So you're right. Well, we should
we'll have to talk about
talk
that.
about
Yeah.
that. I was going to make a proposal to slice that in half, and do 25 instead of 50.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
But anyway, we can talk about it tonight. Um,
One thing I think about our free cash coming out of FY26 is we had a lot of placeholders that did not go to the high limit. So I believe we're going to have more cash reserves by unspent lines than normal.
is that right? I think
That's my guess.
that would be nice.
I'm always
So
amazed each year by how much it ends up being.
Yeah. I wish there was, I haven't sort of thought this through, but I wonder if there is a way. I don't think we're going to be able to figure it out now, but if there's a way for us to sort of make an informed projection, like around this time each year, based on spending levels of,
that's what we're asking for when Haley writes up the expenditures. We want to know the underspent
yeah,
ones as well.
yeah,
And some of those assumptions or placeholders change, but I'm a little concerned about how we figure out a placeholder because I think it's been the conservative thing is to go high, but
yeah,
we might be going too high.
yeah. But that would be awfully helpful to have like at this point, because especially next week when we figure out how we're gonna fund the various capital items, it would be quite helpful to have like a decent projection of what kind of, what's going to be returned to free cash at the end of this current year.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I have to think it through, but yeah. All right.
It's,
That might
yeah,
be a next year thing, but that would be a very helpful step in our process if right around this time each year we did some examination of spending levels and made a still a conservative but an informed estimate of what might be returned to free cash because of underspent lines. All right, let's see.
it looks like Laura's missing.
Yeah. Uh,
Good
Hi,
evening, all.
Good
hey,
evening,
Jim.
Jim.
Good to see Haley. Did you get out of the select board early, or are they still
Yes,
going? Yeah. All
we
right.
ended at 6:25, but I do have to hop off at 7:30.
Okay. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is just we'll just start with the budget, and I think that's the most important thing for you to be a part
And
of.
let's not forget to do the minutes.
Yes. But if it's okay, we'll do that after.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not.
All right. I think I'm going to call. I don't know. Not sure. I don't think I got a message from Laura, but let me check real fast.
And I'm here. I'm just finishing my dinner, and none of you want to watch that. So
What do you having?
Yeah, it depends.
I had a granola bar.
Mm.
Work day today?
Workday?
Yeah,
No,
granola bar. You didn't have time for supper?
no, I'll get it later. I took a nap. I went for a ski and I came home and
Really?
really, it was perfect.
Yeah, the snow is beautiful. You had to have a raincoat on though.
No, it was snowing at the time. It's kind of yucky out there now, but it
Yeah,
was,
just the snow was so thick. I just cleared snow in the yard. I got covered.
feels so good.
Hmm.
All right. I'm going to call
There's Laura.
the FinCom to order at 6:33. Okay. We've got Haley for an hour, so I'm going to jump right ahead to um, the budget. We'll take a look at it. There's a couple of things, a couple of updates, and then Haley, you might have some additional ones. I'm not sure, but I think everybody got an email today from that I forwarded from Ryan, which was very positive news on the health insurance front. So we have, I think, a firm number we can budget, which is $808,068, which is an 8.7%, sorry, 8.76% increase from FY 25. So that's significantly less than the 20% increase we were planning.
Yeah, we got 891 plugged in there now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a cut of, over $80,000, which is great because and it's good timing because I think we were, we had this kind of informal goal to try to get our final budget in at under, a $500 increase for the average single family taxpayer, and that certainly in and of itself gets us there. But not that we shouldn't try to do even better, but anyway, so that's good news. One thing we do have to do tonight, I want to make sure we do, is review that list of library related expenses that Marianne shared, and the only one that has been accounted for in our budget was the water testing. So I think there's a document that she shared. I think I forwarded it to everybody, and we should just go through that and figure out whether we want to plug them into the budget lines that she's recommending. And then also there is, at our last meeting, we tentatively talked about using $5,000 of cash reserves to fund some portion of the new library expenses. So we should talk about whether we still want to do that. Okay, so let me share the budget. Oh, the other,
AJ, I might have misheard you.
Yeah.
You talked about the news today on the
Yeah.
insurance, and did you say it gets us
uh,
to within?
Yeah, I think so. Like you can see right here. So in this budget, this is exactly the budget that we shared in advance of the fiscal summit. The only difference is that I've plugged in this new figure that Ryan gave us for the health insurance premium. Everything else is the same as the last version that we've discussed. And that in and of itself gets us to an average single family tax bill of $7,221, which can be expressed as an increase of $451 over FY26. So that change kind of took us below the $500 mark. But there's an important caveat, which is that I think we should talk about whether it's still we still feel like we can justify putting $50,000 of cash reserves towards that health insurance increase, because the total increase, and maybe we'll just go there right now, is $65,068. So, our whole logic of utilizing cash reserves to help with this line was that, it was too significant an increase to have the taxpayer shoulder in 1 year. So we wanted to kind of phase in that increase. My gut reaction, I'm curious to hear how you all feel about it. My gut reaction is that it's probably not sort of fiscally sound to absorb most of that increase, 50,000 of it, with cash reserves. So I was wondering if we wanted to rethink that assumption.
AJ, I still have a question on where we are.
Yeah, sure.
Now, if you go to the revenue tab,
Yeah.
Can
to
you
the
shrink-
bottom,
Can you
to the
shrink this
bottom.
down? Can you cut out some of those years so we can be looking? Yeah,
I'm going to cut out FY20.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So the bottom.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'm looking maybe at what's confusing me is column P,
Okay. Yeah.
and that's the difference.
Yeah. So this is
851. I'm looking at that 851.
right. So this is the. You're right. This is not. That's just hard coded in here. That should not be there. That was the old figure that we were looking at before we made this health insurance adjustment and before all of those adjustments that we made at our last meeting. So that's no longer relevant. I should get rid of that. This is where we are right now.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what this 964 is. Let's see. N96 plus 96.
So
Oh, yeah.
AJ.
That's a 2 year. Yeah, George.
Yeah, just while we're on that, Jim brings up a good point. So this also includes the 15-year loan versus the 10-year loan for the library.
No, I think this is the 10 year.
Okay.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So it's what we presented to the town department heads prior to our recommendations. I mean, it seems to me we've got some of our recommendations in here and some are not.
I think I think the ones that are in here right now are, let's see. So the 41.
I have an important phone call. Unfortunately, I need to drop off.
Okay. All right. So just bear with me a second. I'm going to make sure that I've got that this budget already made that adjustment that results in us switching from a 10-year to a 15-year term on the library. I just have to check one thing to make sure that's right.
Could you shrink this budget down to
Oh yeah.
just shrink the budget?
All right.
Magic wand.
Yes.
Make it a little bigger too. Okay.
Felt like
Yes.
yeah.
So this budget already takes the step about related to the library debt of extending it to a 15-year.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the
Right?
principle for 15-year. Yeah, I think we might want to fix the interest number, but yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So why don't we do this? Can just since we're on this health insurance thing, can we have a discussion about whether we still want to apply $50,000 of cash reserves to ease that increase? Susie.
I want to mention that the way they got that down is they doubled the deductibles and some of the co-pays are raised. And so and there's probably some pharmaceutical reduction because of Ozempic. But it looked to me like from the article in the Gazette, which can't always make sure you've got information correct from the newspaper, but it looks like the employees will take a cost increase and the town will take a cost decrease. And so I'm concerned about that. I don't really know how we would go about addressing that, but I want to point it out.
Yeah. So just to make sure I understand your point, you're saying that one of the ways they were able to achieve this more modest increase versus the larger one we were thinking might be likely is because they voted to implement some changes in terms of benefits to employees that result in larger deductibles for primarily for them. Is that right?
Yeah.
And maybe,
Doubled.
yeah, okay. That's good.
In the minutes, I'm gonna say employees and retirees.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I was prepared to suggest at this meeting that we cut this health insurance,
See,
the cash reserves that we're applying for health insurance increase in half to $25,000. So we're still absorbing some of what is, what did I say, a
$5,000.
$65,000 increase, but
Where is it?
it's not as significant as what we thought we were going to be doing. How do folks feel about that?
I agree.
Anybody object or any concerns or any?
No, I'm wondering, is there something else we could apply that to? You know, a portion of that we not,
Don't worry, we'll find something.
I'm sure.
It'll
Yeah.
find us. I mean,
It will.
to that point, April, what I would say is, we were going to use $193,000 in free cash. Now I
Right.
take 25 away from that. 193 is a lot.
it's more than last year.
Yeah, it's more than last year, and it's a big proportion of our $1 million balance. It's
Yeah.
almost 20%. So, when we get closer, I think we should think about there might be a situation that arises that we should use it for. But I think at this point, let's not necessarily go look for it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I think, I think the only one that comes to mind, and again, I don't think I would recommend this, but if we were inclined to apply an additional $25,000 to the budget, I think maybe a smaller reduction in the building repairs fund than which we cut substantially last meeting. Jim.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I understand. I know we talked about this $500 is sort of like that's our target, right? We want to try to keep below a $500 average increase.
Yeah.
What is our thinking on that? Is that where we think the town is that's where their acceptance line is? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page of understanding, where we're coming with this $500 average increase.
Yeah. Susie.
For me, it indicates to the taxpayers that we are making an effort not to simply push the tax button and have their taxes go up, and that it's the direction we want to head in. It still is a significant increase. But I feel like all of our activity this year should be trying to pull back from where we were in FY26 as best as possible. So that would be, paying attention to how our cash reserves are used so that we can head in the right direction, and also with the taxes. I think that we are in such a unknown territory. If we did bring the increase down below 500, we don't know if that will be what happens in FY28. But I feel like if we can do that this year, we would be supporting our taxpayers better.
Okay, I guess before George goes, I interpret that to mean that the average taxpayer would think that $500 increase is acceptable. It's palatable. It is palatable and I'm just raising it as a question. I don't know the answer.
I mean, just to jump in, I think that's right. I mean, I think we have a responsibility to develop a budget that we have reasonable confidence is going to be supported by the residents, and also balances our sort of dual goals of trying to contain costs to the extent that we can, so that the town is reasonably affordable to live in for residents, while at the same time, maintaining critical services. So I think all of that is sort of part of our responsibility. I think it would be irresponsible for us to plow ahead with a budget and develop a budget that we have low confidence is going to be, approved by or accepted by residents. That would be a mistake. Yeah, I think. George.
Yeah, that's basically what I was going to say too. It's our responsibility is to really try and balance the needs of the town without overburdening the taxpayers. But I do think 500 is, I don't know what 500 is, and I don't know what the taxpayers find acceptable and unacceptable. For me, and AJ, I think you said it, but for me, it's what will the taxpayers support on town floor? And after last year's $500 increase, I don't know if $500 is what they would do. I don't know how we find that out, but I think we just keep trying to do as best we can and get this number lower. I'd like to see it below 400 myself, $100 a quarter. And the other thing I wanted to say, the one thing I did want to say that wasn't mentioned is that's where long range planning can help, because we can get a sense of we have now a sense of what 27 looks like. We can extrapolate 28 through 30, 31 and see what kind of a tax increase do we think we're going to need in those future years. Is it going to be $500 every year? I always like to believe that when you have a big increase one year like we had last year, you propped yourself up for future years. But listening to how they're talking in South Hadley, the big increases there don't seem to be sustaining them for just one year, and they're going to need more beyond that. And I think it's in our best interest and our taxpayers' best interest to know if that's really our situation or not.
Susie.
I think when we're talking about this, we have a couple of angles when we're talking to the taxpayers. One is that compared to other towns, Shutesbury has had more success at managing their increases. So Pelham had $1,000 on the average tax bill last year. I don't know what they're thinking will be, but we can compare. We have come to town meeting with comparative tables to show how it is, because this is a statewide problem. It's not simply what Shutesbury has made decisions on. And the other thing is our budget has undertaken some costs that were coming due. One is the beginning of the library, and the other is the health insurance. I think we can pretty much plan on about a 15% increase each year, and we had some flat years, and so it kind of makes sense that it went up 3 times 15 last year. So I think our budgeting schedule, we can do better at paying attention to that and not accept a present that says, oh, no increase this year. That's not likely. So we've learned some things. We brought some costs on compared to other towns. We are doing, we're managing as best we can. And I know that when we say 500, maybe that's not what taxpayers are going to think is reasonable, but we do have a presentation that makes a context for it.
Okay, April.
Well, I just wanted to note that, it's $1,000 over the last 2 years. It's, and if we can get it closer to 400, I think that would be helpful to the taxpayers.
Yeah,
A lot.
sure. Okay. So I think one thing we could do now is I still think we have a few items in the budget that have to be updated before we can get the best handle on where we are right at this moment right now. So maybe what we can do is go over those at this point and start plugging those in. Let me start with, I think let's start with the library costs. Susie?
There is a revenue figure that I don't know if we've settled, and unfortunately it would go backwards. So I wonder if you want to do a revenue picture first or just start with the library.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
let's plug in our expense budget with any updates since our last meeting, and then we can turn to revenues. Okay. So this is the document that Marianne shared. So let me pull up my budget. Okay. All right. So we've got $540 for fire alarm, $4,000 for water testing. That we already have plugged in. Let's see, which line did we use?
Water. You plugged in water.
Yeah, water. I think it was a different line than she's recommending, but it's nevertheless.
Oh, line 172. Yep, $4,000, line 172. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So that's already in there. $500 for septic pumping, $5,500 for HVAC maintenance, $500 for carpet cleaning. Okay. I'm trying to remember, were any of these things, Molly, you might be the best person to answer this. Were any of those items flagged in our initial discussion as things that were going to be covered by the
Friends and other things.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is the list of that. This list does not include any of those things because window washing was on that list. And
Okay, that was
so
the one.
there's other things that are on that list that aren't on this one.
Okay, got it. Okay. So
AJ, would you be able to blow that up just the one tad higher? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So Haley, do you have any concerns about those lines that are here? $540 fire alarm, $500 for septic, $5,500 for HVAC, $500 for carpet cleaning.
This is the first I'm seeing this.
Okay.
But I mean, no, nothing off the top. That's actually kind of lower than I thought. I think the only thing that sticks out is that big ticket item, the HVAC maintenance. And then I think below, also talking about the electric line,
Yeah.
the 2,400.
Let's talk about that in a minute. Yeah. Okay, so I think before we get to supplies here, I think what we can do is plug in 540, 500 for septic, 5,500 for HVAC, 500 for carpet cleaning. That's $7,040. Molly, I'm wondering if you would be willing to just, when you get a chance, just have a chat with Marianne and just ask her for kind of what was the basis for this estimate here? Is that like,
So
you know,
that's, they signed a contract and it includes the filters and
Okay.
somebody getting up in there and changing them out and
Okay.
doing basic like maintenance.
Okay, so that's so that's actually something that gets contracted, and so that's a known number. That
Yeah.
wasn't like an estimate or something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that was the case. All right, so I'm gonna plug that into line 81 because I think we've dropped a line since here. So our budget for equipment maintenance is going to go from $1,200, and we're going to add $7,040. So that's going to go to $19,040. And I'm going to add a little note in here. Includes new library building maintenance costs. And I'll put in fire alarm, septic, pumping, HVAC, carpet cleaning. Okay. All right, so that's plugged in now to the equipment maintenance line. Then for supplies, which is actually line 86, we've got an additional $1,100. Haley, any concerns about those numbers?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to plug that into line 86. So the budget's going to go from $3,500. We're going to add 1,100, so that's going to go to $4,600. Includes restroom and cleaning supplies for library building. Yeah. All right. Okay, so those are now accounted for in the budget. Okay, so let's read this. Electricity needs. The library's solar panels are designed to provide 110% of the energy needs over the course of a year. During the winter months, production will be lower, and there may be bills that will be offset by credits earned in the warmer months. Since actual usage and production are unknown, does it seem reasonable to budget some additional funds for the new library? Prior to the activation of the solar panels, the bills were $600 a month. Molly, I'm assuming the solar system has either been activated now or will be before the start of the fiscal year. Is that
It's operating now. It
It's
just
operating.
wasn't for,
for some
like,
period
we
of time?
didn't have a pole for a long time and
Yeah,
they
okay.
needed electricity for the building and stuff.
Okay. So I'm gonna well, I see a hand up. So before I chime in, let me get Susie's feedback.
I don't see why we would do that because the electricity line is all the buildings before
Mhm.
we open the new library. The old library used electricity.
Mhm.
And so it's in that electricity line in our budget. So even if they're not on 100%, over the whole year, I don't understand why we would increase our electricity line.
Yeah, so I think Marianne's thought was that that building will be used for something and we'll still have electricity needs for something. And I don't know the timeline of that, and it maybe not as many hours as the library was open.
I'm
and
on the
stuff like
reuse
that.
committee. It's nowhere near running. So far, the town's going to look at this, but not even this year.
Okay.
Not even this, I mean, not this town meeting. And so it is not slated to be a full use building at all.
Okay, I agree with not adding it to it and think that we, like she said, it'll fluctuate. And as long as we can say, look, we don't expect the library to be on the hook if it does not pay all for its entire electrical bill. I think she's just concerned about
Yeah.
being prepared.
Yeah. Haley?
I would definitely recommend adding something to that line. You know, the bills that we got for like that $600 bill, that was a lot more than what we get for other town buildings. I believe I believe Gail had even reached out to Marianne to ask like if the contractors could pay some of that. It's like a first year expense. I don't think we want to just assume that there's going to be no change to the electric line and to cover our bases if we need it. Some additional funding should be provided.
Okay, George?
I would, if we do that, I would say it should be a small number. I think we're going to have timing issues because this building started in the winter. Had this building started in July 1st, I think we would have got big credits on electricity. I think in the course of the year, she's probably right. It's going to pay for itself. And the budget gets you through to the end of the year. We might overspend it and be ahead of schedule on the spending. We might be at 80% when we're in March. But the months of May and June, I know I have solar panels. You produce a lot of electricity, and so you get those credits. So I'm inclined not to add to it and let it ride. And we've got FinCom reserves for next year. But if we do add to it, I wouldn't want to add a very large number.
Yeah.
I wouldn't panic because of where we are right now and what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time with snow on them.
So my feedback is that I think the $600 a month it's hard to know how to interpret that because it obviously was before we had our solar system running. So I wouldn't read too much into that. And I think there's a range of possible results here, right? Some of them are probably gonna on one end of that range is that we might actually, produce as much as 110% of the energy the building is going to actually use, in which case we'll be getting, credits. There may be some, maybe because of a timing issue, we may be there may be some added electricity expense. But even that possibility is probably going to be more a function of the timing that George was saying, where we're going to be we're not going to have had an opportunity to accrue a bunch of credits during the season, like the summer season, where where the system's producing a lot of energy. So that for the purpose of budgeting, I don't think we want to build sort of a baseline in here that assumes that system's not going to perform well. So I think we can deal with this through FinCom reserves, and I would recommend that we not adjust our electricity line for this. And we treat this as a research year. We'll see, we'll see what the costs are, and we'll need to revisit this next year. That would be my take. Any other thoughts about that? So it sounds like we had at least 3 people that were sort of inclined to not. Anybody want to just voice I know Haley, you were recommending we add something to it. But FinCom members, anybody want to push back on that before we move on to the next thing? Okay. All right. So I think we'll leave it as is then. And then I'm trying to make sense of this bottom part. Services funded by other town budget lines that will migrate from the Spear Library to the Shutesbury Public Library.
So no
So these are
change.
things that should already be in the budget.
Yeah, so we don't need to make any adjustments.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, got it. So I think we are done with making whatever adjustments we needed to the budget.
So there's one more thing related to the library that we talked
Yep.
about last time, and that was the number of hours for the custodian.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we weren't sure if it was increasing again or had already increased.
So let's see.
And then I had a question about the highway budget, if
Okay.
now would be an okay time to ask that, or in a minute.
Yeah, let me just answer the question about custodial wages. So, let me stop sharing this document, go back to the budget.
And we were discussing that last night at the personnel board meeting.
Line
Um,
80.
How many hours a week?
All
Is
right.
he at 8 and getting 4 more? Is that 12? Is he at 10 and getting 4 more? Is that 14?
Yeah, so I think, yeah, so we've added 4 additional hours for this budget
Mhm.
on top of what we did in the FY26 budget, which I can't remember how many hours we added last year. Does anybody recall? I can call it up, but
I'll look it up.
yeah, we have a note in the FY26 final budget. Let's see, final FY26.
Line 80.
Yeah, because my understanding was that those hours had already been increased in anticipation of the new building being
Right.
opened, and that there
Yeah.
weren't going to be additional hours added, but I was hoping that Haley knew.
All right, so
That was, I don't think that was my understanding. Thought it was supposed to come out of this year, but the
last year,
notes say something different.
yeah, last year we added $5,000 to the custodial wages line. So the FY26 budget, we bumped up that number from $8,051 in FY25 to $13,706 for the FY26 budget.
And some of that was the salary alignment.
Yes, and I think some, but I think most of it, if I want to say it was about $5,000 was for the new hours. I wish the note didn't just says additional hours for the new library bill. It didn't say the exact.
I'll be looking through the minutes to find
Okay,
it.
all right. So actually, I do think now that I look at this number here, that doesn't look like a substantial enough increase to account for 4 additional hours. So I think all this is doing is it's applying the salary alignment and the COLA increase. Does that sound right to you, Haley?
Yeah.
But that's 12%.
Yeah, no.
It shouldn't be 12%, I don't think.
When you factor in the alignment,
Okay, so April, do you have actually maybe this is a good time for you to
Yeah.
update us.
Yeah,
what
it
the
would be.
question-
And I don't have there's a grid that we were using. I don't know if you have that, Haley.
no, Melissa has it.
Melissa was going to send that. I haven't gotten that yet. But we worked on that last night, and wish I had the numbers in front of me, actually.
So
Because we were trying to decide what this was the increase.
this tab is not helpful, then this salary alignment study.
That's old.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
That's the one we had prior to the meeting yesterday. But part
Yes.
of the meeting yesterday also was the personnel board granted the collector an extra 4 additional hours per week. So
Right.
her figure will have to be updated now.
Yes.
Okay. But we don't have precise numbers for any of these things, or
We do, they're just not sent to us yet. Someone
Okay.
else has the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Can we ask her to send it? Can
Yeah.
somebody email
Yeah,
her?
let
and
me.
get it?
We
Okay.
have. We did it today.
Oh, okay.
all right.
Yes.
Uh,
Shoot.
all right. So this might be a good time to talk about schedule, because one thing in communication with Haley and Brennan, so the town would like us to meet with the select board on March 31st to finalize the town warrant. And I think that means that we have to have our final budget and vote on it at a meeting on March 24th. So
Okay.
that's sort of need all these last little
Yes.
details like kind of ASAP.
Mhm.
So Susie,
I have the minute about,
Okay.
from last
Yeah.
year. Okay. Says, this is on the March 4th. It says custodial wages, line 75, needs 5,220 for an additional 5 hours a week, 52 weeks per year at the new library.
Okay.
Um,
So that's mostly how we got from this number of 7,473
yeah.
to 13,706. Question
So
is,
where does the
do we,
4 come from?
yeah, I don't know. To me, this 12, I mean, I know it's a 12.85% increase, but that doesn't seem like a large enough increase to explain 4 additional hours. But maybe I'm not, I just, given that 5 hours bumped us $5,000 here, I'm thinking 4 hours would be bumping us significantly higher.
Why are we talking 4 more hours? I
I
don't
don't know.
understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
I
it-
think
think
the hours were in this year's budget. They shouldn't be additional hours
so
for
there
next year's
should be, so
budget.
5 hours is what of custodial time is the number needed for the library.
And that was put in FY 26.
Yes.
Okay, so then I don't know why this is this
Yeah, so
for-
there shouldn't be additional hours. There should just be the
Okay.
COLA and the adjustment, I'm
Right.
pretty sure.
Right.
Okay, all right.
But apparently additional hours for other positions. So that'll, whatever we save here will go somewhere else.
Okay. All right. So we'll just need the actual final aligned salary and COLA applied. And so we're not sure if this is right, but I guess we'll see when we get
But
there.
I guess,
George?
yeah, the only one concern I would have is we see an increase last year because we knew the library was going to start this year, but was it a full year? Did it represent a full year? So that difference from 74 to 13, it sure looks like it does.
Yeah,
But we
it
might
was,
want to just check the math on that.
it was calculated for 52 weeks.
Oh, okay. You did say that. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, never mind.
So then it looks like we don't
Yeah.
need to add any additional hours. Okay. All right. So I think at this point, what still needs to be updated is all of these year 2 salary alignments, because
Yeah.
April, I know we don't have the exact number, but is it correct to say that the personnel board did recommend making the second phase
Yes.
of those alignments?
Yes, we did, and I have it comes to an additional 12,299.31 is what, and I'm not sure how much of that is actually reflected in the salaries here.
None of it.
Okay,
One of the things we did before the last meeting, because the personnel board had not yet voted,
right.
we actually removed any salary alignments. Like you can see all of these lines that say
Yeah.
remove salary adjustment. All that's done there is that we just applied the same 2.59% COLA increase to
Yeah.
their FY 26 salary. We didn't do any. So we do need to put in that. So you said,
Yeah, it's
Oh.
the total was 12,299.31, but it's on that grid that has which salary it goes to. We also voted to increase the collector's hours 4 additional hours a week. So
Okay.
that brings her up to 19 hours. And that at her hourly rate is a 65.93.60 increase.
65.93.
360. I hope I have these right,
Okay.
Haley. Yes,
What's
That-
that number represent?
that's the increase hours. The collector, her job. She's been keeping track of her actual hours, so it brings it up to 19 hours a week. She's paid for 15 hours a week. So this is an additional 4 hours a week at her 3170 pay scale.
Okay. So that's 65.93, 60 cents.
60. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just-
65.94.
Does that include any COLA increase in that, or is that just the base, the increases in her base wages?
I mean, without seeing the
think it-
spreadsheet, I don't
Okay.
know, April. I don't feel confident about a number.
Okay.
Okay,
But that increase is separate and apart from the $12,299.31, which are the salary alignments.
that's
Okay.
right.
All right. So, but I guess the point for us, just in case we don't get those numbers tonight, is that we have another.
How many positions, April?
7.
Seven positions, and the total amount that I have is essentially $12,300.
Yeah.
Is the total.
Okay. So basically, in this budget, what we have is we're expecting this to increase
But yeah, 12,000, another,
actually. No, because the collector also. So
18,
between
nine,
the two of them, it's $18,892. So
right?
about a little under $19,000.
Yep.
Okay. Haley, just looking at a couple other things that so there was so the financial training workshop, I think you had built in an increase. Was that what we were talking about sending Brennan to?
Yes.
Okay. And is that a multi-year commitment, or did we already apply that to the
No.
always
And
thought-
honestly,
Yeah.
it's you have to apply to get in.
Okay.
So that cost is assuming he got into the program, and it would only be for 5 weeks.
Okay.
Once he's-
So I guess the question then is did we already actually vote on a FinCom transfer to cover that expense? I can't recall. No. Okay.
No.
Got it. Okay. So that's going to be here. And then I had one more question, and then I'll go to the hands here. One was
And AJ,
Yeah.
I'm going to send you the personnel board spreadsheet now.
Oh, you got it. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we thought that at our last meeting we noticed that there was a fairly sizable bump in the Board of Registrars expenses, and we
Yes.
flagged that for an explanation from you. We assume that's related to election year.
That is actually a figure that I got from Susie in an email because
Okay,
it was
that's
an election year.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. So Susie mentioned that, so that explains that.
The FERCog number, we didn't.
For
yeah.
cog numbers, so our evaluation went up because how they base their formula is off of like gross annual income, and so because we have a higher income base for our town, we get assessed at a higher rate. So that was why that went up.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher assessment from
Based on population, is that what you said?
No,
No,
EQV.
it's
What-
median household income, or what was it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Based on household income.
Thank you.
Changes to our median household. Okay. Did that get communicated to you in an email or anything like that? Or?
Yes, I can forward that
Could you
to
forward
you.
that? It would be great to see if I'm just curious how they actually calculated it, because this is sort of first I'm hearing of like a very significant change, what looks like a very significant change in our median household income statistics. But Molly,
And
oh yeah, go ahead.
I just was gonna say, I just talked to Chris.
Mhm.
It should be 12 hours per week, inclusive of the additional 4 for the library. So that's what we should be calculating his pay based on.
Okay. So wait, so
12
let me
hours a
understand
week.
that. So that's so let's
Yeah,
go back
because
to-
there are some documents I found that said he worked 10 hours and other documents that said he worked 8, and then a couple that said he worked 8 to 10. But he is saying he does 8 hours at the town hall and 4 hours at the library.
Okay, got it. All right. So I think we actually budgeted him for 5 hours at the library. So I don't think we need to it doesn't sound like we need to make any changes to that line, right? Other than the salary alignment.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. let me go to Molly, then Susie, and then we'll pull up that salary adjustment spreadsheet. Molly?
So I'm not quite sure, how this whole process works.
Mhm.
This being my first year. But I was just remembering when we talked to Dave from the highway department that he was saying that the highway uniform, and we have increased his budget quite a bit.
Yeah.
And for, snow removal and whatever the stuff that makes the roads better makes a lot of sense. And I don't want to be like nickel and diming, but he did say that his highway uniforms budget was like a holdover from when they had like laundered uniforms, and that this year they were able to buy a lot of stuff, and next year all that they needed were like boots. And so I'm wondering, I think there's only 3 of them,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
$3,000 seems like a lot to spend on boots, and maybe we could reduce that budget line to like 1,000, which would still be very generous for boots.
It's not, it sounds like a lot, but for good work boots,
No,
they are quite expensive.
I realize that, but for 3 guys, I mean, even if they each bought $200 boots, 2 pairs of them, that would still be a lot closer to 1,000 than to 3,000.
I thought
I
it
don't
was
think
more
they
than
need to.
boots.
But he did lower the budget line.
Yeah.
He took,
Yeah,
I think,
he
1,000 off.
Yeah, I mean, I met with him on this, put his budget together as his liaison. They were always having their clothes washed, and what he said was the laundering was not very convenient. The company wasn't doing well. He said, "I'm better off. Their clothes don't last more than a year anyway, so it's actually cheaper to just replace their clothes than it is to keep washing them." And so I think it's more than boots. I think
It's probably pants too, because he buys the shirts
in
and
the
the
jackets,
sweatshirt.
the yellow shirts, because they
Okay,
say
I
the
might
town
have
should
been
spray on them.
misremembering our discussion. That's fine.
Yeah, I think he would object to us going to 1,000, and I don't think it would be enough. And it would be a burden on the workers, the employees.
Yeah, just to give you, it looks like the FY 25 total spend was $4,932. The FY 26 budget was $4,000, and the FY 27 budget is $3,000. So that's a little bit of background.
Yeah, from 26 to 27, it's really a policy change.
Okay.
Could I just ask one more time, just for the minutes, how many hours are we going to increase the town collectors?
4.
4 per week. Okay, thank you.
So it'll be 19 a week.
Thank you.
And Susie?
So I need to clarify again, the financial training for Brennan, is that happening in FY 26?
No.
Okay, it's going to happen in FY 27. And the other suggestion I made is that it come out of the select board expenses, because this is a person that supports the select board and would improve his ability to do that. So take it out of their expense line.
Without adding it in.
Right.
So this
I
wasn't
mean-
in the budget.
They don't usually expend all their expenses. I've looked at the reports.
And it's not an ongoing cost. I mean, it's a one-time cost. So
Right.
you don't need to like build it in for
Right.
future use.
Right.
So let's see, which line is that?
It's the line 6 for select board expenses.
That's the select board expenses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But
that's
I would
that's
I
what we
would
actually
say,
bumped up. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, select board expenses gets used for a lot of different things, particularly overflow for like if our postage doesn't work or if we have a tech expense. So I don't know. I think it would be better. Like I said, I mean, we may not need that 950. If he doesn't get into the program, then it would be a non-issue and we wouldn't be using it. But I can't say that going into FY 27 with the way that costs are rising and what I think our future technology needs and printing needs and postage needs will be, that I would be comfortable not adding extra funds for that. I think it's a very low cost expenditure and it's very much in line with personnel board or personal bylaws that say that we, would set aside funds for staff training if it's available.
Then I suggest it come out of FinCom transfers reserve. It's not an ongoing expense, so I don't think it should be there.
Well, we could use yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
actually a good point. This is not a recurring expense, Haley, right? This is like a
No.
one-time thing, yeah.
But so
So,
then, so if I come, I guess I just want to know just for the future too, like, so if I come to you with just a one-off, are you always going to want that to come out of a different transfer? Or, I mean, I would think that it would be built into the budget and then maybe not built in again next year because we have it flagged as a separate cost. But I just want to know how you typically do things.
Do it tonight.
yeah,
I'm sorry, what was that?
I
I
guess
didn't catch that.
we could go it, let's not work on that tonight. We could just wait till something comes up and start dealing with it. But it's hard to make a policy tonight when we're trying to get this thing nailed down.
I was just asking about past practice, but yeah.
Yeah,
interesting.
well,
go
just
ahead, Jim.
along that same lines, we do like police training, for example. Wouldn't that be sort of a similar kind of, as a one-off? We might send somebody to a police academy for a year. That's a one-off. So how do we manage that?
That's a very significant expense. It's not like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually built into the police wages line, I believe. So I think, I think, yeah, generally speaking, the problem when we have what we know is going to be a one-off expense
Mhm.
and a one-time expense, when we add it to the operating budget, it becomes part of the sort of baseline
Right.
budget that we then work from next year. Now, in theory, yes, we could make a note that says,
Mhm.
well, this was specifically an FY27 budget. So, somewhere we make a notation that when we get for FY28, we're going to reduce that. But the reality is that it's very hard, I think, to 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 ensure that we're actually going to drop the budget. And I think, there's always the danger that we're going to sort of get pushback because we're
Mhm.
making what looks like a budget cut to some line that belongs to some entity or some department, when in fact
Mhm.
the reason we're doing it is because it was just a one-time expense. So
That's true.
it's
Well, I think I had first asked just do it as a separate line, and then it got suggested to bundle it into expenses.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm inclined to recommend that we do a FinCom transfer for that. It's
Mhm.
it's a small amount as well. George and then Susie.
Yeah, so to answer the question, a lot of times when we have small one-timers, we just have a warrant article for the dollar amount and it gets voted on the town floor. I don't necessarily think that's a great idea. Warrant articles take time. We get a lot of conversation. This is not one of those things that I think we should be burdening the taxpayers with. But I think that's the way we normally handle these. And I was also make the point that AJ made. You don't want to put things in the budget and forget about them and they end up becoming a part of it. And then the third thing I was going to say about it is I don't like using FinCom reserve because it's really for emergencies and unforeseen expenses. And I don't like to use it as a way to fund lines. So I know it's kind of a conundrum. I'm not saying I got the answer.
Yeah.
Those are my issues.
I think what we could do is assume it comes out of select board expenses. So far, they've spent 34%. And then if they run out of money for unforeseen expenses, we can do a FinCom transfer.
I like that.
That makes
That
sense.
would work.
Okay. All right. In that case, then I think what I'm going to do is return this number to $2,500. Let's document for the minutes that again, I think everybody felt strongly that this was a good idea to build Brennan's capacity by sending him to this. So we should definitely do that, and
Yeah.
we should utilize the select board expense line. And if at some point during FY27 that line looks like it's going to get overspent, we can do a FinCom transfer to make that adjustment. Okay.
You got it. It's in the minutes.
Okay. Haley, can you share with me the personnel board spreadsheet?
I did. I
Oh, you already
forwarded
did.
you
Okay,
the
great.
email.
I see it now. Yeah. All right, so let me share this. All right, let's make this a lot bigger. Okay, so let's see what we're looking at. So
One
these-
step backwards, we lost a little on the right.
Okay,
Just one step.
yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this says custodian 8 hours.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But maybe that needs to be updated.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the numbers trick out.
Because it's 10 hours, right?
No, 12.
12 hours.
Yeah. Well,
Is this the right tab? Like, I mean, is there another tab? Maybe because this one does say FY25 on it.
Oh, good point. Yay! We'll be safe.
No, that's the right tab.
That is right.
That was
It
just
just
the
hasn't been updated.
FY25 was the base rate for what they were looking at. So and then it was broken down into two parts. So the first phase was FY26 raise, then FY27 raise.
That's what this is here. This is the FY. This is part 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the custodial wage line that we have.
Yeah.
That number's way small anyway. So I don't know what this $8,832. I mean, we've got $15,000 in there right now. So I think this is before. This was just this was applying those adjustments to the FY20. I see what you're saying. Yeah, to the FY25.
Is there more information over on the right?
No.
Oh.
All right. So let's deal with that one. Let's deal with the other ones first because I think that one's complicated. So accountant, let's see. So this already has both the salary adjustment and the COLA adjustment built into it.
That's right.
So I can just take that number, town accountant, it's going from 28,020 to 39. Is that right? 39,775.
Wow. That's what we've,
That seems like a very big increase.
This is.
Because
Having
last
some
year,
trouble reading this.
the 50% increase was 2,671. So how do we get all the way to that?
Is it possible that's the full-time rate and the person is not
no,
working
she's
full-time?
Yeah,
she's 20 hours.
hours.
Is it possible that that's the full alignment and not half? That's 50%. Yeah, well, I see. I can barely read the numbers. I get it.
All right. So that's year 1.
Do we have last year's adjustment
Yeah.
sheet?
Isn't that what these are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but last year's amounted to 10. Oh, I see. There's a new one in there. Oh, the collectors, because last year was $10,000. This year it's all right. Never mind.
All right. So the COLA
2.59.
and that's multiplied by T7. So that's all right, so this is the pay rate, Sheetsbury pay rate plus COLA plus 50% of the salary adjustment, I assume, right? Yeah. Okay. And that's the hours? Okay.
Yeah.
But doesn't this already have the COLA in it? I would assume from this header here that it says Sheetsbury pay rate plus COLA plus 50%.
I think that was year 1. That was the 3% COLA for last year.
I see.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So we take that, we add 88 cents for the 2.59% COLA. That gets us to this number. Okay. FY27 Shutesbury rate next COLA.
What does that mean?
Well, what we did was we did half of the adjustment last year, so there's the 50% adjustment additional and the 2.59 COLA. That's where that came from.
Okay. Well, we're positive we're not adding the COLA in here twice, right? I mean, because I would have thought that this,
Well, what's the 88 cents plus
plus this,
33
right?
and 88.
All right, so this is 88 cents is
yeah.
basically last year's.
Yeah,
Is that possible that
the 88 cents you're adding it
Oh,
to
I see.
that.
Okay, so here's what it is. This number is last year's hourly pay rate, which included COLA and half of the salary adjustment. So
right,
this is just adding
the COLA,
the COLA portion. Okay.
and this is the COLA.
And then this then adds
That's that other 50.
half of the, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this is translating that to 20 hours.
That's right,
So it's
times
700.
52.
But why would that be such a much bigger jump this year than last year?
Well, what's the jump this year? 764?
The jump
No,
this
no, no,
year
that's
is-
That's an annual. That's not the jump.
what is it possible that the number we have in the budget isn't accurate for her salary?
This is the account.
Right.
We can look at the accountant's line for actual versus budget in 25. Well, no, that won't work. Never mind.
No.
No, that won't help.
I think what we need is who's responsible for updating this spreadsheet?
Personnel board.
Who worked on it? Like, was there a specific-
Yeah, we did it. The personnel board did this
So
last night.
collectively, you guys did it. Okay.
That's
That-
right.
I feel like we need somebody to kind of walk us through the
What we
calculation.
did. Yes. Okay. So let me see if I can get this right.
I just
All
want to
right.
say that in our current budget, we list the town accountant for FY27 at 28,020.
Yeah, and that just took their budget, her salary last year and applied just the
2.59.
0.59.
So AJ, when you click on the 39,775, there's a formula in there. Can you see
Yeah.
the formula and what the formula is doing?
Yeah, that's taking X7, so that's taking this weekly
Right.
wage and
Right.
multiplying it by 52 weeks.
All right, so then how do we get
Right.
the weekly number?
Okay, so the weekly number is W
It's 3825
That's
Times
times.
20.
times 20.
That's
Now,
right. And then
And we know in hers is a 20-hour position. Okay.
that's right. So what we have here is the 2.59% COLA. Then add that to the rate that she had, and then add the other 50% of her pay raise of the adjustment. Comes to
Can we-
3825.
Can we take our current pay rate and figure out what it should be for this year to see if
Yeah,
what we
that's
have in the
exactly
budget
what-
is,
that's
This-
exactly what I'm doing right now.
okay.
This year,
thank you.
she's being paid at a 27,313 rate. 27,313
Yeah.
will be this year.
Yeah, I mean, so using this formula, so this pay rate of $33.84, which I believe is what this
That's right.
was what she was entitled to last year. If I multiply that by 20 hours a week times 52 weeks, her salary should be 35,193. And what she was budgeted for was what Jim just said, $27,313.
Yeah, for this year, yeah.
What if
And
it,
and she's been paid at that rate through 2/3 of the year.
Wow.
all right, let's go to another line, see if
Yeah,
that,
let's see.
Yeah, I
Is
see a
this-
similar trend with the
is
the-
it all
the
of these
next-
lines? Yeah,
the
assessor clerk.
yeah, that one. The same kind of a bump.
Which one are we looking at?
Or-
The assessor clerk.
Assessor clerk.
Oh, that's gonna be really screwy.
So
All right.
that last year's amount was 18,933.
I'm
And this is based on 25 hours. W8.
I have to log off.
Okay.
But I did want to say this spreadsheet is certainly confusing, and the personnel board also decided last night to do a summertime review of job descriptions and potentially increase people's salaries. You know, to look at their hours, what are the hours they're actually working, because I'm not sure that that number of hours is accurate. Might be a tangent, but is accurate for the accountant. She's only in 2 days a week.
Yeah.
She's not doing 10-hour days. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So where did that number come from?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so and the assessor clerk is certainly working that number of
Well,
hours.
I do know some of these numbers were from the FERCog, but I don't think the FERCog was given correct information. So I think that if that's what we pulled it from, that's not necessarily accurate.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
that has been
even-
an issue.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
would
make-
say also, I'm looking at an old one and she was working 15 hours a week.
Yeah, I was thinking that line looks like it's, but even then, it's not exactly like I tried to plug in. What if this was based on 15 hours? And that suggests that her amount for FY26 should have been 26,000. So it's not exactly.
That's more in line with what we budget for her.
It's more in line, but it's
There's
still
some
not exactly.
problem.
So there's some problem. So I'm going to make a recommendation. I don't think we're ready to do
No.
these salary adjustments. I think this sounds like a
We need to
fall,
go,
special town meeting thing potentially.
well, that was what we were thinking of for, sort of looking at how many hours are people actually working and, sort of re-examining all the job descriptions. That was for special town meeting in the fall. But this, I am not sure where these numbers don't make sense, do they?
No.
No.
I just don't. I think my recommendation would be that the personnel board take the summer to do a couple
All
of
of them.
different things, evaluate the actual hours that are budgeted for each of these employees to make sure that we're making the right assumptions about that, and then actually finish this second wave of salary adjustments.
Yeah.
I don't know. Molly?
I mean, I'm a little confused because I feel like we should know how much people are working and how much we're paying them now, and that this shouldn't be so hard.
No, you're
And I
right.
don't
We have-
want
we
people
have
to
that,
to
Molly.
wait.
We have that,
Well,
Molly.
I hear that, except that then you're saying, well, this person doesn't work 20 hours, and so
Well, I think
So-
part of the confusion, because I do actually have to go, but I'll say one more thing. When I looked at the budget spreadsheet, I think if you go back to the fiscal year budget spreadsheet and you click on like, I forget what it's called, if it's called salaries or something like that, that
Oh, you're on this?
information.
Hmm.
No, on the original spreadsheet we looked at, if you go quickly to that.
All right, I'm gonna go to that right now. I think you're talking about this
Yes, that's the one.
one or this salaries one.
That's exactly the one. And I don't know, like, if you look at, this confused me when I first started here. like some of these positions don't have hours. So I'm not sure, like, I don't know who put this together in the past, but like it's very complicated and it was very tedious to even get like some sort of sense when I first started.
Right.
Because like they have Kat Hilton in, oh no, she's not in, but like why, why is Kat Hilton in there? We don't pay her.
Yes.
No, she does get paid.
Does she?
Yes.
Out of what line?
And there's some sort of grant or some sort of, you can ask her. It's
Yeah, it's not in the
not out of
operating-
our, but it's not
It's
out
not
of
in the
our-
operating budget, right?
Right.
So I'll end on that. That was certainly
Okay.
something, yeah,
So,
that I think we'll
Haley-
have to look at.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense, Haley, if you and I meet and actually look at the hours. I mean, I was assuming
Yeah.
these were accurate hours. And what are people actually working? Is it, does their time card show that? Time sheet?
It'll show how much they worked. I'm not sure I understand your question totally.
Well, yeah, how many hours are we budgeting for each person? It's like,
Oh,
I thought
sure.
that those numbers were accurate, the ones that we had.
Yeah, and it's not.
They might have.
It's clearly not, because even when we look at last year's calculation for the accountant, if I multiply this value by 20 hours a week times 52 weeks, that's a higher, significantly higher salary than what we actually budgeted. So
Okay,
this
so she's-
this sheet is not tracking with,
no,
even for FY26, is not tracking with what's actually in our budget for this year, let alone FY27.
Before Haley
Okay.
leaves,
Mhm.
I'd like to address this. Haley, I think you're 100% right. I think this is more complicated than it needs to be. I think that it's really drives the expense budget lines, the salary lines in the expense budget. So it's really determining which one of these are in there is certainly an important step. And I think the second step is working with the treasurer to get the proper amount for each employee.
Yes.
I mean, the way it was set up was so that we could put the COLA in, right? And it just automatically gets everybody properly. Obviously, that's what we want to do. But I do think it needs rework. There's no question. When I handed it to you, you may not recall, but I mentioned to you that was something that was definitely going to need a rework. It went back a couple time administrators have worked with that, and it's morphed over the years. And I think it is time. And I bet you there's a way to really tighten it up. But I do think your best bet is the treasurer. He knows who everybody's salary is. He knows who's working for us and what they get paid.
All right.
So I'll
But-
cross-reference that and meet with you, April.
okay.
Okay.
That's
So-
not the only reason I had my hand up.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay.
George.
Well, I'll
yes.
see you later, though. I'm gonna duck out now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
thank
take
you.
care.
Okay.
The only thing I want to say is it does make sense if there's going to be a summer project to do a deep dive into all the positions. It makes sense not to do something now, but we missed the opportunity to adjust salaries for FY27.
Yeah.
So we can have a special town meeting maybe in September. If we get it soon enough, we might be able to get those in the budget, but people would have already been paid, so there'll be a retroactive paycheck.
Mhm.
If the special town meeting happens too late and the tax rate has been set, then we're stuck.
All right.
So just considerations in the terms of the timing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will just say, if we're going to do these adjustments and apply them to the FY27 budget, I want us to feel very confident about the calculations that went into
Yeah,
that. And I don't think
I don't think we have them. No.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about that. I thought we had the correct
Mhm.
hours. But I didn't cross-check with the budget while we were doing this.
right. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So
All right.
does that mean for now we are not going to do anything to these positions other than apply
COLA.
2.59% COLA? Is that
Yeah,
sound right to people?
yeah.
Yes.
And keep the notation.
Okay. So the only one that might not apply to is we do have to figure out the collector, right? Because that was a separate issue. where we were applying, we're adding what was it, 5 hours or?
Or
4 hours at 31.70 an hour was 659.93.60.
Okay, so, sorry, tell me the hour.
It's the hourly rate is 31.70, but that's the adjusted hourly rate.
Okay,
Um,
that's after the salary adjustment?
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So it might, and the amount comes out for $6,593.60.
All right, so it looks like the collector line in here does kind of line up with what we had in our FY27, like a placeholder, but
Mhm.
which is weird because all I did to this line is just add the 2.59% COLA. But this number is basically within $20 from what's on the salary alignment sheet. So Ellen's going from 15 hours to 19, is that?
That's correct.
Okay.
At 31.70 an hour.
15 times 31.70 an hour times 52 weeks. So that would be $31,319.
So that should be about a $6,600 increase.
So I'm getting 5,821. Is that because we need to also apply a COLA
I think the COLA was
wrapped up into it?
wrapped up into it. So just make a notation. I will double check on that.
All right.
Um,
All right. COLA eligible, additional 4 hours per week budgeted. April is checking.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to leave it as is for now then, with this $31,320. Okay. All right. Jim, your hand was up earlier. Do you still have something?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm on the same page or same understanding.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier 2.59 to be added for now, just for now, as a placeholder. But you've already got that in there, right?
Correct. So for all of these positions, except the collector,
Yeah.
so the accountant, assessor's clerk, assistant town clerk, custodian, town clerk, and treasurer, all we're doing at this point right now is we're just applying a 2.59% COLA
Yeah.
to their
And
FY
you've got that built in, you got that
That's
built into
built-
the current version.
That's built into here. The one thing that's not is the custodial, and so I think, let's see. All right, so this should just be this is 1.0259. Okay. All right. Right. So the custodial wages is only increasing by 2.59%, right? Because we already
Right.
built in
Right.
hourly increase. Okay. So then, all right. So then this should be good. Okay, so let's see where we are. We've got a gap of $10,970. So I'm gonna have to take that from here. 10,000. What did I say? 500? No.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
10,980.
10,980.
Okay.
I think you want to go plus on that.
Yeah, of course. Right.
I do the same thing every time, AJ.
I know. All right. So we are using that. So, all right. All right. $10. What did I? Now we're off by $10. Okay. Oh, going in the wrong direction.
Happens every time. All right.
All right.
Now you
Okay. All right. So, and what did I? Okay. So what have we done? We've adjusted the health insurance line. We applied just a COLA to all of these 6 or 7 salary lines. We added additional hours for the collector. We took out the financial workshop, municipal finance workshop for Brennan. We what else have we done?
We were reducing the amount of money that we were taking out of reserve.
Right. So we
Have
reduced
that.
the amount of cash reserves we're applying to the health insurance line from $50,000 to $25,000. Okay. All of those changes bring us down to $490 increase in the average single family tax bill. So, Susie.
Two things.
Yes.
One is I can't remember where we've been on this, but I did get the language that Irving used to create an educational stabilization fund, SPED stabilization fund.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you create it, if you have to add any money into it in that year. It's a long language warrant article. So I'll have to have somebody help me read it, but I don't know if you need to put money in it in the first year, and I don't know if we're still on track to put it in this year's ATM as a
So-
warrant article.
What is, just out of curiosity, what does Irving contribute? Do we know?
I don't think I know that. I can find out.
All right. I
I'll
mean,
find
it's
So that's one thing. And the other thing is on our revenue page, the amount from investment income got changed, and we don't know if that was clearly what the FinCom wanted.
okay. And so that is
I don't know which one.
let's see.
It's towards the end. Local estimated receipts there it is,
That's-
8943.
Right.
So
So
we talked around about this. First, it was really reduced, and I had an objection to that. We can have a discussion.
yeah.
Who increased it? Did you do that? You didn't do that, AJ?
I think we did it as a discussion.
Not to that number.
Not to that.
No, I'm sure we didn't. If we look at the minutes, I would have I mean, I personally would object to that number, but
Mhm.
so you didn't talk to Ryan about this.
No.
I think
Oh.
Haley adjusted it because it came after a
Uh,
meeting where she had the budget.
so should I ask Ryan for a recommendation about
Okay,
it?
so I asked Ryan,
Okay, what did he say?
and at the point where I asked Ryan, it was when there was a 12% decrease. And I said, that didn't seem right to me. And he said, well, I think that could be okay. The less cash is on hand to collect the investment income, and interest rates are going down. And so I think maybe I sent you, AJ, a thing saying, not the reduced amount, which was 65,
Mhm.
maybe about 69 or 70.
I see. Okay.
But I think I mean, the other argument is OPEB is doing fine. And it's doing fine because it gets investment income, and the state is doing very well in investment income. So I'm not so ready to.
OPEB at this point has a higher balance than our free cash, and it also, or close, but they can invest more aggressively because they
Yeah.
invest for the long term.
That's
They
true.
can't, they're not allowed to do that, I don't believe,
Okay,
with the free cash.
okay. So could we agree on a number like
70?
70? If 73 was last year and we think it's not gonna be so good, could we do 70,000?
Yeah.
So what, I'm sorry, what was it last year?
It was 73.
It
I'm
came
looking.
in at 73.
What was this originally budgeted at? Before we made it 70?
It was we saw a budget that said it would be at 65,000 and it was a 12% decrease. And I said, really?
Right.
So now we're considering that. I think that might have, I don't know if it was a misprint. I don't know that there was any real need to move it down 12%. So how about moving it down 4%? If
Yeah.
we think interest rates are lower and we have less cash on hand to invest.
Yeah, that seems,
Likely.
yeah,
Right, with interest rates likely to decrease.
yeah.
In the
Okay.
chaos world, we don't know what will really happen.
No.
Got that right.
Yeah,
Should we put the cost of fuel up?
I know.
yes.
Let's not, yeah, let's not
Oh,
go.
God, yes.
I'd be okay with 70 grand.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that
So that
makes,
changes our revenue picture a little bit.
So that
And
is-
AJ's got to figure out whether to put in a plus or a -5.
So this time I'm adding 5,000. Right, yeah. All right. All right, so we're just under $500 now. But we wanted to do a lot better. I mean, it's,
Yes.
And with April's point that 500 and 500 is 1,000, wait till Pelham tries to roll out their budget. It's going to be
Yeah.
1,000 plus whatever they think this year is. I mean, we
Right.
really are
Yeah.
ahead of some games. And I suggest we do a comparative table to help
Yeah.
people see that at town meeting.
yeah, that's definitely that's gonna be as important, if not more important than last
I'm
year.
sorry. So I'm going to put that. Can I put that? Should I put that in the minutes? What did you think
Yeah.
we should do, Susie?
So
I think we should make a comparative table of maybe last year and what we know about people's proposed FY27 to show the increase in different towns on the tax average single family.
Oh, so a town comparative.
yeah, exactly.
And I have that data. I
Yeah.
downloaded from DLS, so we could certainly, I could show at one of our meetings what I have and how we can use that.
Yep.
I actually already compare us to the other towns in the region.
But then I think what we can also do is we can mine the media accounts on our various town budgets that are being presented at annual town meetings and see where our FY27 projected increase, how it compares to other communities,
Yes.
which we have done in the last couple of years. But I think it's going to be even more important to do that this year. Molly. Oh, you're muted. Yeah.
Okay. Northampton has a special education stabilization fund that they started last year, I think. And
Okay.
they fund it through their Medicare reimbursement line or Medicaid, whichever one. I saw it go
Okay.
by on the
Mhm.
thing. And for us, I don't think that would be enough.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it was $12,000, but just as what another city is doing.
Interesting. Okay.
It can be built up over time, yeah.
Yeah.
So Susie, you found their document, their description?
I have the warrant article Irving used to
Oh,
get it
got
passed.
it.
And so that was
And-
to actually create the fund.
Yeah.
Initially, and there's a question as to whether we need to actually make a contribution at the same time as creating the fund.
Yeah, right. I'll get that in. And is the school committee going to review that in one of their meetings?
I didn't even, we had talked about it. And then I talked to Caitlin, Anderson May to find out how he would do it. And she suggested looking up the Irving number. And when I look at this one for Irving, it was submitted by the school committee finance, and the finance committee recommended it. So yeah, it should be talked to. Maybe we'll do it in the fall.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the things I want to ask about was the rural aid. And this additional amount of rural aid that we might get from the governor's budget, possibly more with the lobbying that's going on, is that going to go directly to the school, or is the school going to share with the town and lower their budget to some extent, not necessarily the full extent? And they didn't seem amenable to the idea of using any of the rural aid. Was it rural aid?
The
Oh,
school
no.
choice, you're talking about the school choice?
Yeah, you're
They-
right. I am thinking of school choice. Because that was my question. Would they still be amenable to that? Where are they on that? Do you know? Has there been
Yeah,
conversation?
so they have school choice in there. They're trying to decrease the amount of school choice they use to match the revenue that's coming in. They've overspent it and they don't want to keep doing that. So it's not holding back against the town, it's holding back against the possible revenue shortfall that's gonna keep coming. The rural aid, I believe, just goes into the school. They had it as a line item that they spent out for different costs in their budget. So I do believe we need to sit and talk about how this all works. I believe what happens is they put that in and meet some of their expenses, and it lowers their assessment to the town. And when the town has a lower assessment from the school, it's able to make some choices elsewhere. They may choose to increase some expenses that they've been squeezing out. I don't know. It needs to be a discussion.
Okay.
All right. All right.
But the regional school, I don't believe I don't know where they're at on this. It would be the same scenario, but I think in 25, I asked the region if they were using their rural aid in their figuring. And I don't remember that I got an answer, and I don't know what they did for FY 26. And I've made a table of what the allocations have been for the SES and for the region. And if it goes in the direction that we are lobbying for, it will be a significant amount of money. And so we need to sort of get a handle on how to interpret it and how to listen to each other and figure out a plan.
Yeah, I would think that, we're going to find out what the region thinks they might do with it this weekend, but I would think that any additional revenue that they receive, they're going to want to decrease the level of cuts that they make, and that our assessments are pretty much
Yeah.
in hand,
Right.
is what
I'd
I would
say that's
expect.
true. I'd say that's true.
Yeah.
Especially because in both people's response was, this is not reliable revenue. You can't build an operating budget on this. And sure enough, the state cut it 25% this year. So they're right. They're not a trustworthy partner.
I'm just, Susie, I'm just reading an email that Shannon sent us like a year ago, because you had raised this question about
Yeah.
does the region actually budget? And this was her response. We do receive rural school aid at the region over the past few years. Rural school aid was once around $80,000 to $90,000. They have slowly increased it, but it is always a question of how much it will be for the next year, depending on how the governor's budget shapes out, and if this is something they will continue to support. It only started in 2019, to my understanding. In 2019 and 2020, I don't believe we counted RSA in our budget because it was so new. We were unsure if we would receive it in another year. However, for the past few years since then, we did account for RSA in our budget. In FY 26, I have yet to account for it, as it is a grant that is not guaranteed. Dr. Z has expressed trepidation to using potential one-time funds to support our operating budget. Although supporting the operating budget is allowed per their guidelines, the priority of RSAs to promote increased efforts of regional collaboration, consolidation, or other strategies to improve long-term operational efficiency and effectiveness. So it's not clear. It sounds like at least in some years they've accounted for it in the budget, but maybe not in others. I don't know what they ended up doing in FY26. It's a good question, though. I should find out.
And
Okay.
their allocation in FY26 was 194,000. And the year before they cut it,
Mhm.
before the state made the cut, it was 248,000. I'm rounding those numbers off. So it's not nothing. And if they really go ahead and do what there's been asked to do and said they would do, it would be significant money, because these are only numbers that are a fifth of 60 million.
Got it. Okay. All right. So I think we've done all the work we can do tonight on the actual budget here. April.
Yeah, I just had one question. Is the
Yeah.
library, the money, the amount plugged in there, the 10-year or the 15-year?
It's the 15-year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get any more discussion with Ryan on that?
So he has, I think, I can't recall if I updated you on this. So he's, I wouldn't say reluctantly, but I think he's on board with our recommendation to
Great.
to move to a 15-year term. So yeah, he
Good.
supports that. He does not support the 20-year idea, which I don't think.
That said, AJ, I would recommend that we go back to the interest portion of that
Yeah.
and raise the number just slightly, because I think the interest number, I lowered it and I should not have, because
Okay.
I think they think that the debt service schedule that Ryan puts together is based on payment being made at the end of the year, not the beginning. So the
Okay.
first year's interest is going to be the same as it was, whether it's 15 or 20 years.
Do we have the?
I have it. I'll get it for you.
Okay.
Also, is Ryan going to send us a final debt service schedule? Because he had sent me one in the context of a different conversation. He didn't necessarily, and he said, he put the caveat on it. This is subject to change. He thought it was pretty solid, but it was subject to change.
Okay.
So that would be my only concern.
Yeah.
Is that we just confirm from him the debt service portion of our budget. And then maybe that's it, AJ. Take a copy of it, send this and say, this is what we're using. Does this agree with what you're expecting next year?
Yeah. Okay. Jim.
Yeah, I'm just going to suggest, based on this little bit of discussion, why not have Ryan come in and spend a little bit of time with us, maybe the next meeting, to go over, what George is talking about, as well as the pros and cons of 10 versus 15.
Yeah.
Unless you're pretty certain that he's all on board and there's really no need to have the discussion on 15.
I think he is on board. But I think if we want him to lay it out for us, I can invite him.
Yeah, I just think it's a pretty big part. It's a pretty big deal. It probably wouldn't be bad to hear from him a little bit.
Okay.
15 minutes or
Before we
so.
move on, and I forget,
Yeah.
it's 42,668.
Okay. 42,668.
Yes,
Interest payment, right?
just the interest. The principal still stays as what it was.
Okay.
Do we know if, so when we ask him to look at what we understand, we're also asking him to check the interest rate he thinks he can get, because we had 3.5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the schedule he sent that he's shared with George is where all these numbers come from. So I think the question for him is are there any updates to that that we need to be aware of?
Yeah. Are there any updates to it? And definitely. And AJ, I think I sent that schedule to you. And do we have the right numbers for the 15-year loan?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think. Yeah, based on my conversation yes, we do have the right number on the principal, right? Which is the only number that changes. Yeah.
Okay.
That
So
I-
I don't
that
know
I-
that we need him to come in because we're just making sure that the numbers we have are going and we've already crossed the barrier of 15.
Yeah,
Yeah, unless I think it might be good to hear what his logic is on the pluses and minuses of the two options.
yeah. If that would be helpful,
Yeah.
I'm certainly
Yeah.
willing to ask him to come. Okay. All right. So I think we've done everything we can on this budget. I'll send this to everybody when we wrap up. What I did want to do is just review the schedule with you all because we are definitely on a much tighter timeline this year than we have been. So as I mentioned earlier, the select board and Haley want us to meet with them on the 31st to finalize the warrant. That would give them a week to do any, I think, last minute adjustments. To be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure why, if the warrant gets posted on the 23rd, why we need to meet with them like 3 weeks earlier. But anyway,
It's possible that they're going to want to have feedback into the final budget that we do.
it could be.
It could be
So-
more than just, we want to see the budget so we can make the warrant article.
Yeah,
It could-
that could be, but I've asked a couple of times and it sounds like they're pretty firm about that. So I think we need to work backwards from that, which based on kind of, I think we've got pretty much, March 24th, we've got to actually finalize and vote on a budget. And if we're not ready on the 24th, then we're going to have to be ready someday between that and the 31st. I guess we could always meet on the 30th or something like that if we needed to. But so I'm assuming that capital planning will have met, right? You guys are meeting this week, or
Yeah, we're hoping to meet with, AJ, we were hoping, the capital plan was hoping to meet with the finance committee on the 17th of March.
17th of March. Okay.
Yeah, so we were going to be meeting with the highway chief tomorrow. There was a mix-up. We're not going to be able to, but we're going to have our meeting. We're going to settle all the items except the highway items, and we're going to meet with him on Monday or Tuesday. So we'll be ready for March 17th.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah, so if you give us a time, I mean, you want us to be there at 6:30 or 7?
Yeah. So that's okay. So then I think the meeting schedule then is, so I think I mentioned this via email. I unfortunately cannot meet a week from tonight. So the 10th is out, but I think, there's a Four Towns meeting on, what is it?
14th.
The
14th. So one question is do we feel like we need to meet before that meeting? Normally, I would say absolutely. This year, I feel like for Shutesbury, things are a little less complicated at the region, but I'll leave it up to you guys, whether you think we ought to meet sometime next week in advance of the Four Towns meeting.
Yeah,
Is the region going to vote on the budget before the four-town meeting? Yeah.
No,
Last
they
time
are,
I said.
let's see. I'll tell you, they sent a schedule, or they posted a schedule. Let me see where that is. So I know that they have their public budget hearing on,
That's what it is.
yeah, so that is, I'll tell you exactly. So their budget hearing is on the 10th.
10th, right?
Yeah, so a week from tonight. So we will, and the budget that they have posted to that meeting has us at, that the amount that we've got in our budget right now, which is the the 0.73% increase for us. So hopefully that's, that's the budget we're going to be talking about at that Four Towns meeting. But CZ,
I have two other things, so finish the schedule.
Okay. Jim,
Yeah, regarding this, well, this is regarding that same meeting. I agree with
Yeah.
you, AJ. I think, unless we know something different before that meeting, there's no need for us to meet for
Yeah.
any additional prep. The one caveat I'd have is if we get some additional updated budget that looks different than what we would have expected and we see the need, maybe to
Yeah.
discuss.
Okay.
So without additional information, I think we're good to go.
Okay. So why don't I do this? Can we keep March 11th as an open slot that we potentially can meet if something important happens on the regional budget front or any other significant news regarding our FY27 budget?
That's a Wednesday.
That's
Right.
because AJ can't make
Yeah.
Tuesday.
So I can't do the Tuesday, so that would be Wednesday, March 11th.
Yeah.
Is that
I can't make any of them, so
okay?
I'm just telling you right now, I won't be at either
Okay.
No,
So
no.
if we can happen.
traveling.
What about others?
Okay for me?
I work on Wednesdays, but I'm done by 7, so I can just log on.
All right. So again, I'm not sure we're going to need it, but I'd like to have it as an option if something important comes up. Okay. So then that means we meet with capital planning on the 17th. The 24th, we vote on the final budget, warrant articles. We then meet with the select board on the 31st to present the budget to them. They will, I guess they'll vote on it on the 7th of April. It gets posted on the 23rd. We do a public information session on the Thursday before annual town meeting, which is May 7th. And annual town meeting is on the 9th. Does that sound like a reasonable timeline? Okay. Ambitious, but all right. CZ, you had a couple other yeah.
Yeah, 3 things now. One is on our budget, we have a placeholder for the TA, and we also had basically a placeholder for the holiday hours for the police. And I would like to be able to have clearer numbers on that. Because when we put in a large placeholder, it puts it in taxes and then we get it back in cash reserves. And I don't think we need to do that, or I don't think that's the best
Which
practice.
position, Susie?
The TA has a placeholder and the holiday hours for the police. I do know that they promoted Curtis McGuire up to sergeant, and I don't know how that will affect their projected salaries, but really all of this, much of this year, half of the year, they only had 2 officers, the chief and the officer. So I don't know. So that means some revenue will come back, and the chief was pegged as a placeholder at 93,000, and that's not how it played out. So I just don't want to. I want to look carefully at the placeholders, and I don't know what the plan is. The select board probably knows the plan for Haley's salary, but I'd like it to be as close to accurate as we can get. So those are 2 budget numbers that may change once we get better numbers.
So I can call the select board and just find out where they are in the process of negotiating that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was one other thing, but the other thing is that I am very busy doing this rural aid effort to get it on the radar of the legislature. We have, Laura and I have done communications. We have the basic outline of, from the fiscal summit, but I cannot work on this now. And do we need to talk to the town? Yeah, I think we do. Because, we had the department meeting, and the school didn't get invited, so that's a problem. I talked to Brennan about why that happened. So they also didn't get the summit information before the meeting, which is not good. But I think we should communicate with the town, and I don't know what information it should come out of the fiscal summit that would make it an easy communication to write up and get out, and when do we want that to get out?
So one option, Susie, is that we could do, since it's a different kind of timeline this year than in previous years,
Mhm.
always basically had to do our public information session like 2 days before town meeting. We
Uh-huh.
might be in a position to do that earlier in the process than we have
Okay.
done the last few years.
Yeah.
In which case, we can prepare something and as part of that public presentation.
So no written one for right now, just plan on a earlier presentation, and I don't know.
Well,
even-
Yeah, and we could do, I mean, we could actually provide, the annual report, and that could include, doesn't have to look exactly the same way it has the last few years, and that could have some whatever important context that we want to share with people. So, that there would be, I think, an opportunity to do both. A presentation and also have some written document that gets made available to the public before that.
Okay. I wonder if we would tell them that that's the plan, just
Mhm.
so that it doesn't get abandoned.
Yeah,
And maybe that's what we should do. And so you could project to them what our timeline for communication is.
yeah. Okay, great.
That
George,
being who?
the public.
I wanted to talk about placeholders as well.
Mhm.
I'm glad Susie brought it up. I think there's two other lines that I know of that are open. The school transportation number, I don't think we ever got a final number on that.
So where did
And
we get that number from?
I think it's a placeholder.
I think Haley.
No,
I think we get it from finance director in the town of Amherst. It
So
might
is
come
that
from,
something Haley is supposed to find out?
I think she did. I think that the number that's in here came from her. So somebody shared it with her, but I can ask her if there's.
yeah,
What
it
the
maybe,
source
maybe, there was a point where I know she didn't know what the number was or sure how to get it. And yeah, it says here, am I right? Doesn't it say placeholder on your notes?
Let's see.
Maybe the note didn't get
I
written.
think she just increased it by 3% to be safe.
Oh, no, that's not how it goes.
Yep, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think she had the final number. And then the other one was we had talked about going to a revolving fund,
Oh.
right? Susie, you have information
Yeah,
regarding
I do.
the
The Board of Health.
FERPAG healthcare. I'm
Right.
sorry, health.
Board of Health.
Yes.
So I can tell you about that. It's not a revolving fund. You do revolving funds if there was a lot of fees coming in from their work and you want to direct those fees into their budget, but that's not what it is. So right now we have last year's amount and it's still in negotiation, and because this budget is so wacky, I would go ahead and stick with last year's number, but they may need to come to us for the FinCom reserve because they don't have a number yet. And it might only be a couple thousand that they didn't anticipate. I don't know. We don't know.
Okay.
And the placeholder in there right now is 32,000, which is basically
Last
what
year.
was there last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Were there any other placeholders, George, that you wanted to flag?
Oh, I don't think so. Here, let me take a quick look.
Okay.
Because they were highlighted in yellow.
Yeah.
No, high school bond. Dog officer? Did we ever figure that one out? I got a
I
mark on
did
that one.
ask her to check that because it's the sheriff's department. Isn't that something crazy? That got changed last year.
Yeah, I think that's the only other one. I'm almost to the top. Yeah, the dog officer is the only other one that we're unsure of.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Haley about the school transportation number and the dog officer. Okay. All right. Jim?
Yeah, you might already be planning to do this, but just want to make sure we all get your updated version of this,
Yep.
this spreadsheet.
Yep. I'll send this when we wrap up.
And
Yeah,
thanks.
and the schedule of meetings, I
Yep.
didn't get them all written down.
Yeah. I'll send
Yeah, and that, can you, I mean, yeah, okay. And right now you have the budget, you adjusted the excess levy capacity and you're in balance, the budget you're gonna send
No,
us?
I think yes, I am actually. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll send this document and the schedule. All right. We still have this FinCom transfer, but I don't know that we have the details on it.
Well, we lost the person who probably has it.
Yeah. All right. So
Well, which one is that? Is that the school one?
the school one, yeah.
Yeah, well, I have the numbers for the school one.
Should we go ahead and vote on that, or do we need? did you
So
verify
the
this
thing,
one?
the thing that, the
Mm.
thing that might be the debate is, at what point do we say to them, this is your maintenance cost? And at what point do we say, this is the town repairing an old system that's breaking down?
Mhm.
And right now in FY 26, the school budget is covering the additional costs for the out of district placement. That's just another factor in looking at how we decide this. But I believe, looking at the Jamrog stuff, this is a system that is failing, and it's not that they didn't replace filters and do those kinds of things. So I would move that we appropriate that money, which is I have that number, I'll look it up.
Okay.
In invoices to Jamrog, we transfer that from free cash into the school.
Yeah. So when you pull up that number, I think we should vote on it tonight, and I'll let Haley know that we approved it. And worst case scenario, if something's off or it's actually a different number, then we can always rescind it at our next meeting and then
All right.
vote different. But at least this way she'll be, assuming it's the right number, she'll be set up for it to go. Jim,
Yeah, how much money are we looking at for this?
It's
This one?
8,000 something I'm working
just
on.
pulling up the exact number.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the only part with this is how have we done this in the past? Is Jamrog's been around doing this work quite a while. How have we managed these kind of expenses historically?
Well, last spring, the school got a bunch of these, and it was more like to the tune of 16,000, and they covered them. And they used funds from different sources to meet that because they knew that we were at the end of our year and it was a difficult year. But it's not the model of saying repairs for broken down things should come out of the town budget, which the town does do repairs for other departments, other places.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess that's where I would be. I would think normally repair is part of a budget, and that's usually usually would come out of the budget line, like it has in the past.
I think maintenance does, but I don't think everybody has equally done the repairs.
I mean, we've definitely done FinCom reserve transfers for like emergency repairs at the school. I mean,
Yeah, a lot.
yeah, we've done a bunch of those.
Would
So
that be an option too, to use the FinCom
yeah,
reserve?
I think that's what we're discussing. Yeah, and I think that's the
Okay.
proposal is to fund it right now. with
Yeah, I thought I heard Susie say free cash.
Oh, sorry, I might have.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
mean that.
So, for me, it's how have we been budgeting it year over year? I mean, is there a line in their budget for that?
Mhm.
Well, they
How-
have maintenance. They don't have when systems break down. And when we present at town meeting, our report says these are expenses that are going to come from having a building that's 50 years old. And it's not maintenance. It is the breaking down of a system.
Yeah.
And they don't put that in their budget.
They have a maintenance budget and they replaced a door in the building along
That's
with
maintenance.
this. And that and fixed it. And so there's certain things that are more about maintenance. And I feel like we should have a buildings committee discussion so that they can help
Yes.
define these things.
Yeah.
So the total on these 5 invoices is $8,206.55.
How much again?
$8,206.55.
Do we know how their maintenance line, how that's holding up right now through 2/3 of the year?
I could find out,
Yeah.
but the other piece is that when they come to the end of this year, they need to cover the out of district placement. And that's another piece that they're dealing with.
And the issue that
And would that come out of the same kind of line, or would that be a
I
different line?
don't know
Yeah.
what limitations they have for moving money around. I don't know.
No. Yeah.
They have total control. They have a budget of $2 million and they can spend it any way they like. They do not have to spend it the way they show it to us.
Right. And
So
I
they
think-
can move money around lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just spend. They build their budget based on the numbers that they show us and they come up with a
Yeah.
dollar amount. But I suppose they have individual lines. I'm sure the finance director uses individual
Yeah,
lines.
they
Yeah.
do.
As far as how they spend through the course of the year, they can fire all the teachers and spend it all on educational,
Yeah.
instructional things. I mean, they really can, or not buy instructional and hire somebody. I don't know that we have any say in
Yeah.
that at all, other than the dollar amount we get them at the bottom.
And so
Well,
the
would it be
big,
worth going back to them and asking where they are and whether they have the ability right now to take on this bill?
so when they did that last spring, it hammered some of the revenues in, they used some school choice. Oh, did they use school choice?
Hmm.
They used some different things. So then we have had a discussion about where this is all coming from and how to view it. So they asked for this to be covered by FinCom reserve. And this is the second set of Jamrog, and that has led to the big discussion about having the maintenance person, blah, blah, blah. So there's some attempts to solve this, but I actually think one attempt should be that we talk with the buildings committee to help sort out what they made a huge schedule of what's out there, and some of it's repairs and some of it's maintenance and some of it's fixing up a mess they inherited. So I think we need some clarity. Instead of us looking at each one and trying to figure this out, we could have a plan.
George?
Yeah, I'll just point out that in fiscal 25 and in fiscal 24, they spent their whole budget. In the past, they haven't always, but in recent years, things have been tight. So they have been spending their whole budget. So, we could wait till June to see how they're spending. But if they're asking for the money, Susie, I believe that means they think they're not going to have enough money to get out of this year.
Because they know they're wrestling down that out of district one that started in January.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. They're
Yeah.
wrestling with that.
Okay.
All right.
And I don't think that Jamrog situation has been resolved, but the heat is on. I did check. They're having heat. This winter, it's good to have heat.
Anyway, even the mild ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess my feeling is like we have, I feel like this is what our FinCom reserve fund, this is what it exists for, right? It's our sort of extraordinary, unforeseen expenditures. It's not a maintenance issue. It's an emergency repair kind of issue. So I don't know, to me, this seems like it's obviously a significant expense, but it does seem that it's appropriate to utilize the FinCom reserves for this. And I'm fairly confident that that's precisely what we've done in the past with a number of kind of emergency repairs that have had to take place at the school. So I'm going to make a motion to approve a transfer of $8,206.55 from the FinCom Reserve Fund to the school expense line for the purpose of paying these Jamrog bills.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion about that?
Overnight side.
Is it me? Cashew eye.
Mosier, aye.
Moss eye.
Sweeto I.
Stein eye.
Walton, I.
Okay.
Good, I'll let them know.
And so, yeah, I'll also follow up with Haley.
Yes.
She does the DocuSign paperwork for that.
So if I may, real quick, 806.
It's
8206
806. Yeah.
55.
55. Yeah, and I wrote that in the minutes, but I'm actually in the spreadsheet where we keep track of FinCom. So FinCom reserves are now $52,984.
All right. Great. Helps to not have a ton of legal bills this year.
Yeah.
Shh.
All right.
It's still early, AJ.
Right, yeah. Okay. So what else so it's creeping up on 9. What else do we need to do? Should we talk about minutes?
Yes.
Get them out of the way? Okay. So we have 2 minutes, I think.
No, we got 3.
3. Okay. So what's the first one? Not the
All
night.
right. So the first one is the oldest one is February 10th.
Okay.
And I don't think we approved these, right? Let me go to the
Yeah,
20.
I don't have it. I don't think we approved it either.
Yeah, I don't seem to have any adjustments for this one, Susie, which is quite
Yes.
unusual for you. But maybe you sent them to me and I lost them, but I don't think so.
Oh, so I had a mark on 2D, and I wanted that sentence, it says salary market alignments to be determined by the personnel board, and I wanted it to say the second half of them, second half of the salary adjustments.
So the second half, I think that's a good statement. The second half
Salary market
of the
alignments.
FY25 salary adjustments, 26 salary.
20, it's the 20, that was for 26 and 27, so yeah, 26.
So the second half of the FY26
Yeah.
salary market alignments for 6
Yeah.
positions to be determined. Okay, done.
Yep. And then that's all I had.
All right.
This just reminded me that I've got to ask Ryan about this Clean Water Trust debt.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Good thinking. That's a good catch, AJ.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm reaching out to him anyway about the debt schedule. So.
Okay, did we vote? Are we ready to vote?
I
can't
think we're ready to vote. Yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve the February 10th minutes as amended.
Second.
All right.
Arnett, aye.
Cashew eye.
Mosier, aye.
Moss eye.
Next,
Sweeto I.
Stein eye.
Walton, I.
sorry about that. The next one is February 19th, and the first thing we'll do is go through Susie's recommended adjustments.
Let me pull that up.
If everybody's ready, when everybody's ready.
Okay.
Review draft budget number 1, D. Change the wording to say the town may need to increase the library expense line by $150. And then line F, the Council of Government Assessments for COG increase. Oh, this is an addition. This is something I missed.
A
So
new one.
basically, I'm adding a sentence that says the Council of Government Assessment increase of 54% will need to be explained. And we got the explanation in today's meeting, as everybody knows. But I did add that line because it did come up and I missed it. And then H, the very last sentence, very end, library building operating costs. So I inserted the word operating. And then
Looking at the right minutes here, this is,
Yeah,
October.
it added by adding
I
the
see. Yeah, yeah.
FERCog note.
I gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That was G before.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I understand now. Yep.
Yeah, that was G before. So yeah, and then the next one is in, of course, there's one in every section. Discussion regarding 2B number 6. Susie said the 5,000 was specifically for the HVAC.
But
I-
now I don't think.
I think maybe we should change it to mostly. Is that correct? Mostly HVAC?
Well, the HVAC part is 5,500. So I thought that was why we discussed that particular minute, but I might be wrong.
I don't think we specified a particular library cost. I think we just said
Okay.
there's some new expenses related to the library building. Let's apply $5,000.
All right.
To
So
help.
I'll leave it as is then.
Leave it as is.
Number 3B, at the very end, will we need Proposition 2.5 overrides? Susie wanted to note in the near future. I'm not sure that's a good idea or not. We don't really know how far out in the future. We
Yeah.
know that, that's my take.
Yeah.
Susie wanted to insert the word near.
In 3B.
Yes.
I guess in terms of minutes being about telling the public what we're talking about, the getting ready for the summit, we were saying that this is about a near change, not like way out in the future, but that's why I thought maybe near future.
Well, and especially because it says we will, if the trend continues, we will use up our levy capacity.
Yeah.
And so then, like, once that happens, we would need an override, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's
So I
right.
think it,
Yeah, I think it's fair to say near future because I think the situation looked even more dire that night than it does right now. I think we were talking about using like over $200,000 in excess levy capacity.
Okay, you got it. Near future it is. The next one is on row F. Susie was wondering what I meant by head counts, so I thought I'd add to it the abbreviation new positions.
Yes.
When we talk about new head counts, this was the conversation about whether we should have a facilities manager.
Oh,
and
okay. Oh, I get it now.
we decided in general that we don't support any new head counts.
Okay, got it.
So I'm just going to put in brackets new positions
Yep.
Yeah.
behind that so that the word head count is,
Okay.
or I could just say any new positions and get rid of the word head count.
Yeah, up to you.
Yeah.
Do we need to put, for clarity, would it put in for this budget cycle or something along that line?
Yeah, that's probably a
Yeah.
good idea for
Okay, FISC will not
Yeah.
support new head counts for
Yeah.
FY27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound good?
yeah.
And
I
that's
think
it.
new positions makes a lot more sense because then you don't have to explain what head counts mean.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll just get rid of the word head counts. That's just my language that I use. Okay, yep, you got it. Will not support new positions for FY27. Done.
And the other suggestion I made is that in the attendance part in the heading, it says absent none and non-members attending none. But the fact that Haley wasn't here, I feel she could be listed as absent instead of none.
Yeah. Do we usually put her under non-members attending or
Yes,
Okay.
that's why I don't include her under absent. Because she's not technically, is she technically or ex officio? She's not really a member of the committee. That's why I
We used
typically
to
don't
call
do it.
Becky ex officio and we
Yeah.
moved her to non-member.
So all right.
Yeah,
So-
we usually, we usually try to make sure these meetings are in line with her schedule, right? So it almost, she is expected to be, maybe Susie's, the words are right, the ex officio.
Well,
Type of-
and we don't
type
need
of-
that in the minutes ex officio. That's the
Yeah.
logic, that's the logic
Yeah.
for putting her in the minutes. So justification.
Yeah.
So I'll do it. If it sounds like everybody
Yeah.
thinks we should, so it's done.
Sure.
Absent Haley Bolton dash town administrator.
Okay. Anything else? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the February 19th minutes as amended.
Second,
Arvanitis, aye.
Cashew, aye.
Mosher, aye.
Moss,
Soto
aye.
aye. Soto aye.
Stein, aye.
Walton, I.
And then we have the minutes of the fiscal summit, 23rd. And again, I have some preliminary adjustments or preliminary edits. And so the first edit would be, I see that AJ has it up. K, under section 1K, my language definitely could have been better. So the second half, tax impact of revenue problem, comma, I changed it to say dependence on residential taxes and low growth are not adequate to cover cost increases.
Okay.
So the FinCom considers the tax impact a revenue problem, comma, dependence on residential taxes and low growth are not adequate to cover cost increases.
Okay.
And then number 3A, the word state pilot. I just need to add an E. And that's it.
Well, I suggest for 2B, that where it says organized actions in the state for rural, and you have education, and since the whole thing is really called rural school aid, I thought it should be school aid, to raise this aid to 60 million to remediate inequities. That's their whole point.
Or to address inequities
Address, okay?
of current education funding or something.
Yeah.
Change the word aid to funding.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you want me to change the first part, organized actions in state for rural education?
Yeah, I
Rural,
would call
okay.
it rural school aid because there's other ones,
Okay.
other actions for other parts of the formula.
And the school is not going to be in brackets. It's going to be for rural
Right.
school aid.
Right.
Okay. To raise this aid to 60 million to address inequities of current education funding. Okay.
Yep.
What about 2D? At the end of that, you mean residents there as opposed to residents?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Spell check didn't catch that one.
Well, yeah, the spell check's going to think it's right. So anyways, so how should I spell it, Jim?
It's
Residents.
RESIDENTS
Yeah.
Thank
for
you.
residents.
Right, residents. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, because I'd spelled residential up above wrong too, by the way, but I fixed that too. Okay, got it.
And you fix state pilot. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Thanks for doing all that work, George.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always fun, but
No.
it's important, so I take it important. I treat it that way. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 23rd as amended.
Second.
George,
RNSI.
Cashew, aye.
Mosher, aye.
Moss, aye.
Soto aye.
And Stein, aye.
Walton, I.
Great. Anything else?
Please
So
no.
I think what I'm going to do is I will if I might post a meeting for
Good idea.
just in case, and then worst case scenario, if nothing comes up between now and then, I'll cancel that meeting, but at least we'll have it in case we need it.
So March 11th at 6:30.
Yeah, although April, you said you're not free until 7, is that right?
That's correct.
So we could just post it for 7 o'clock.
Sure, let's.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
The second, yeah.
And I won't be able to attend that meeting
Okay. March 11th. Okay.
unless I have.
You
to
have a
change
lot of
it.
things that you've listed that you're gonna track down, and it may change our picture.
Yeah. So I am contacting Ryan to verify the debt schedule
Yep.
and also ask him about attending our next meeting. I'm gonna talk to Haley, let her know about our FinCom transfer that we voted on, see if she has any information about 2 of the placeholders in the budget, school transportation and dog officer. And then I'll contact the select board to see if they have a timeline for when Haley's or the TA's salary is going to be
Defined.
approved. And I'm going to post the meeting for March 11th at 7 o'clock.
What was the story with the county health district?
It's gonna stay at
Yeah.
the placeholder of 32,000. It might be a little low. We'll be
Oh, that's
able-
right. They haven't finalized it yet.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Okay. All right. If
Head
there's
is
nothing
spinning.
else, sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
I
All
know
right,
the
if there's
feeling.
nothing else, then I'll make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I'll second that.
Hmm.
Arvanitis, aye.
Cashew, aye.
Mosier, aye.
Moss eye.
Pluto eye.
Stein eye.
Walton, I.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm gonna email everyone the budget now and the
And
schedule.
the schedule. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
AJ.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All
Good night,
right,
everyone.
take care, everybody.
Good
You all
night.
have a
Take
nice
care.
evening.
Bye.
You
Good
too.
night.